Hello, good morning students. In this video, we will be studying about potentiometer. See, potentiometer, it is a device which is used for number of applications. For example, it is used for measurement of EMF of any cell. It is also used to measure the internal resistance of a cell. We can also use this potentiometer to compare EMF of two cells. So potentiometer, it is a sensitive device which will be used to measure the EMF, and the best thing about the potentiometer is that it will not be using the source cell, or it will not be drawing any current from the source cell. So a potentiometer, it is a sensitive device which is used to measure the EMF of a cell without drawing any current from that particular cell. So it will be measuring the EMF and it will not be drawing any current from that cell. So coming to working principle of this potentiometer, see, it works on the principle that if you have a wire, a uniform wire whose cross-sectional area is uniform throughout, then the potential drop across any 2 points of that wire will be proportional to the length of that wire. Fine. So if you have a length, you can see in this diagram. So you have a wire whose length is AC, and if you want to calculate the potential across AB, that potential V, this potential V will be proportional to the length AB. Similarly, if you want to find out the potential across any other point, like you are taking a point C over here, and if you want to calculate the potential across this wire AC, so that potential will be proportional to this length AC. Suppose this length is X, then the potential across AC will be proportional to X. So this is the basic working principle of potentiometer. So when current is passed through a conductor of uniform cross section, the potential drop across any 2 points is directly proportional to length of that wire. Fine. So this is the basic working principle of this potentiometer. Now to prove our point, which we have discussed earlier, that potential across any length of a wire will be proportional to length of that wire. So let us take a diagram in which we have a wire of length AC, and you want to calculate the potential across the length L, that is between A and B point. Now let that potential be V. Now the potential drop across this length AB, that will be equals to V, and V will be equals to I into the resistance between these 2 points, the resistance between A and B. Fine. Now we know that the resistance, it depends upon resistivity, length upon area. Now if you are using this value of resistance in this equation, what we are going to get is V will be equals to I rho L by A. Now here I is constant because the current that is flowing through this conductor will be constant. Area is also constant. We have taken this wire of a uniform cross-sectional area, so A will also be a constant value. Resistivity, of course, it will be constant for the uniform thickness of a wire. So what we will be left with? We will be left with V is equal to constant into length. So I have taken K as a constant over here. So V is equal to K constant multiplied by length. So we can write potential is proportional to length, or in other words we can say potential divided by length is potential gradient. Fine. So we can say potential gradient is constant. So this is how we can prove that the potential drop across any length of a wire is proportional to length of that wire. Next we are going to discuss about the construction of this potentiometer. See, potentiometer, it actually consists of a uniform wire of length varying from 4 meter to 12 meter. The potentiometer that you will see in your physics lab will have a wire of length 4 meter, but it can vary from 4 meter to 12 meter in different potentiometers. So this 4 meter length, it will not be taken in a single stretch. It will be taken as shown in this diagram Like here, starting from point A to point B, this wire will have length of 1 meter, and then this point B is in contact with point C through this copper strip as shown in this diagram, and then the wire, it will move from C to D. This length will again be of 1 meter, and point D is in contact with point E again through this copper strip, and again this wire is moving from point E to F. This length is again 1 meter. Again point F and point G, they are in contact with each other through this copper strip, and this wire is now running from point G to H. Again this length is 1 meter. So in this way we have the wire of 4 meter length. A scale will be present over here to measure the length. So this is all about the construction of this potentiometer. Now we will be studying the applications, different applications of this potentiometer, how we can use this potentiometer for different purposes. First we will study about the first application, that is to determine the EMF of a cell. See, this is the circuit diagram that we will have to establish. Here we have one battery. This battery will be known as driver battery, and you have a ammeter connected here, and down here you have a rheostat. Rheostat is used in this circuit to vary the amount of current passing through this wire. So basically this driver battery, this will be establishing the current in this wire. See, the wire, it has a length of 4 meters starting from A and ending at this point, that is H. So the battery whose EMF is to be calculated, that is connected over here. This is the battery whose EMF we will be calculating. See, positive terminal is connected at point A and negative terminal is connected to jockey through this galvanometer. So what our procedure will be, we will be sliding this jockey over this wire starting from point A. We will keep on moving this jockey till we attain a balance point or a null point. The balance point is point where this galvanometer stops showing any deflection. So here is the procedure written. So due to the driver battery, the current I will flow through this wire. So the current that will flow through this wire will be due to this battery, that is driver battery. Let that current flowing through this wire is I. We are letting it I current. Next, slide jockey over the wire from point A till you get a balance point. So suppose our balance point is coming over here, and we have given this point a name J. So slide jockey over the wire from point A till you get a balance point, that is J. So we are considering this point J as the balance point. So at this point, this galvanometer will stop showing any deflection. Now, what does this mean? This means the potential drop across this length, the length A to J, will be equal to the EMF of this cell. Fine. So here we will be saying that when this balance point is attained, in this position, EMF of this cell that we need to calculate is equal to potential drop in the length AJ of this wire. See how we will be measuring AJ. We will have a scale over here. So from that scale we can easily calculate the length A to J. We will be measuring here to this point. This will be 1 meter, and then we will be counting from here to this length. So we will add 1 meter and this length, that will be the length of wire AJ. So at the balance point, EMF of cell will be equal to potential drop in the length AJ of the wire. Fine. So from here we can write EMF of this cell that we are calculating is equal to potential drop in the length AJ. So potential drop in the length AJ will be equal to V is equal to IR. So resistance in length AJ, so the resistance of this length of wire multiply by current, because V is equal to I into R. In place of resistance from point A to J, we can write small r is resistance per centimeter of this wire. This wire which is used in this potentiometer, suppose small r is resistance per centimeter of this wire. Fine. And suppose L is the length of wire from point A to point J. We are considering small r is resistance per centimeter of this wire, and L we are considering the length between point A and J. So resistance Raj between A and J will be equal to small r into L. So this I will remain as it is. So by knowing the value of resistance per centimeter of this wire, this balancing length that can be easily calculated, and the current that is flowing, that is being set up in this circuit by this battery, you can easily calculate the EMF of this cell. So I will be writing it down here. Small r is resistance per centimeter of wire, and here L is length, or we can say L is balancing length. So from this formula we can calculate the EMF of this cell. Now moving on to second application of potentiometer, that is to compare EMF of two cells. See, to compare EMF of two cells, what we will be doing, our circuit will near about remain same as it was in the first application. Here we have a driver battery, ammeter, rheostat. Now you will have two cells whose EMF you need to compare. So firstly you will be connecting the first cell over here. You can also use a two-way key, and you can switch between the two cells by changing the keys, or you can also have two cells and you can connect them one by one in this circuit. So like here I have connected the first cell in this circuit, and I will be sliding the jockey starting from point A to find out the null point or the balance point. Suppose the balance point that we have got is at this point. Let this point is J, as we have taken it in the earlier example also. So let the length of this wire from A to J is L1, and let EMF of this cell is E1. As we know, the potential drop across any length of the wire is proportional to length of that wire. So we will be writing E1 proportional to L1. Here L1 is length of balanced point from the starting point, that is A. Now after getting this value, what we will be doing, we will replace this cell by the second cell. Fine. So now I will be applying the second cell over here, whose EMF is E2. Now again I will be sliding the jockey starting from point A. Suppose now you are getting the balance point somewhere over here. Now suppose you are getting the balance point over here. Let this point is M. Fine. Now you will be calculating the length from point A to point M, and let this length be L2, and the EMF of second cell is E2. So what you will be writing, E2 is proportional to L2. Let L2 is the length of balance point M from the starting point A. So from these two equations you can write E1 by E2 is equal to L1 by L2. So by knowing these lengths L1 and L2, you can get the ratios of EMFs of these two cells. So now we are moving on to third application of potentiometer, and this application is to measure the internal resistance of a cell. So to measure internal resistance of cell, this is the circuit diagram. Again we have a driver cell connected to point A, and the cell whose internal resistance is to be measured is also connected, positive terminal of that cell is also connected at point A. But the difference over here is that across this cell whose internal resistance we are to calculate, across that cell we have connected a shunt resistance. S is a shunt resistance or a small resistance. So we have connected a small resistance across this cell, and we have also connected a key over here. Fine. So after that you have a galvanometer, and then you have a resistance box, and then of course jockey. So now what the procedure will be, firstly you will keep the key K open, that means this key will remain open. In other words, you can say that this shunt resistance will not be there in the circuit. So keep key K open and get a balanced point, let it be J1. So by keeping this key open, we will be getting a balance point. Suppose that balance point is somewhere over here and we have donated it with J1. Let the length AJ1, let this length be L1. Fine. Now this cell is not at all used. So what we are going to get is, we will be getting the EMF of this cell. So the EMF of this cell will be equal to potential drop across AJ1. So the EMF of this cell will be equal to the potential drop across this distance AJ1. So I have written it over here. E, that is EMF of that cell, will be equal to K into L1, where K is constant. Fine. Because potential drop is proportional to length, and this length is L1. We are considering it as L1. So this is the first point. In first point, we have kept this key opened. Now coming to the second point, now close the key K. Now we will be closing this key and slide the jockey again starting from point A and get a balance point. So when you are keeping this key closed, that means now some current is extracted from this battery also. Fine. Now this shunt resistance is extracting some current from this battery I1, which will now flow through this shunt resistance. Now as the second point is saying, close the key K and slide the jockey. Again we will be sliding the jockey and we will be finding out the balanced point. Fine. Suppose now our balance point is coming at this point, that is J2. So let that balance point is at point J2, and the length of J2 from A, that is AJ2, we are letting it as L2. So our AJ2 will be equal to L2. Originally it was L1. Now students, when this cell was not used, we have got the EMF and it is equal to K into L1. Now when this key is inserted and some current I1 is extracted from the cell, this means that now we will not be getting the EMF now because cell is being used. So what we are going to get is, we will be getting the terminal potential difference. Fine. So earlier we have written EMF of the cell when this shunt was not there in the circuit. So at that time EMF of the cell was equal to potential drop across AJ1, that is E is equal to KL1. But now when this cell is being used, then we cannot write EMF now. So what we will be writing? We will be writing potential difference of cell. Fine. So now potential difference of cell will be equal to potential drop across AJ2. So potential difference, we are denoting it with V. So potential difference of this cell, V is equal to K into L2, where K is constant because again it depends upon length. Potential drop depends upon length. So V is equal to K into L2. So this is a very important point that you must understand, that earlier we have written EMF is equal to K into L1. Why? Because this cell was not used. This shunt resistance was not there in the circuit. This key was opened. But now when you have inserted a key over here, or when you have closed this key, then some current will be passing through this shunt resistance. We are supposing that current equal to I1. Fine. So now what you are going to get, now you will be getting the terminal potential difference. Now you will not be getting EMF. That is why we have written V is equal to K into L2. So this was the first equation when the shunt was not there in the circuit. This is the second equation when shunt is in the circuit. So now as we have got these two equations, EMF E is equal to K into L1 and potential difference or terminal potential V is equal to K into L2. Now by dividing these two equations, what we are going to get is E by V is equal to L1 by L2. So this is the equation that we are going to get. Now for this cell, what we can write, E, that is EMF of this cell, is equal to I1 multiplied by total resistance. Now the total resistance is the shunt resistance plus internal resistance of this cell. So I1 into shunt resistance plus internal resistance of this cell, we are denoting it with small r. Now from here we can multiply I1 inside, so we will be getting I1 into S plus I1 into R. Now we know I1 into S, I1 is the current flowing, S is the external resistance or the shunt resistance. We know current into external resistance is equal to potential difference, we denote it with V. So in place of I1S, we have written V over here and I1R will remain as it is. Fine. So from here you can get the value of R and R will come out to be, this V will get subtracted from E. So internal resistance will be equal to E minus V divided by I1. But we know the value of I1, the value of current. What is current? Current is ratio of potential difference divided by external resistance. Fine. So current I1 will be equal to potential difference V divided by external resistance, that is S. Now we will be replacing this I1 by V by S. So replacing I1 by V by S, so V will come in denominator and S will go up. So from here we can divide this V by E and by this V. So we will be getting E by V minus 1 into S over here. But we know the ratio of E and V is equal to L1 by L2. So in place of E by V, we can write L1 by L2 minus 1 multiplied by S. L1, L2, we will be getting to know these values from this scale that will be calibrated over here. And S is the resistance that is connected over here. So all these three values, these will be known to us. So by using this formula, we can calculate internal resistance of this cell. So this is the method by which we can calculate internal resistance of any given cell. So with this we have completed our potentiometer. Thank you.